In this video, we'll talk about media and interactivity. We'll talk about the HTML5 audio tag and the video tag. Then we'll talk about how to embed video. And then we'll talk about CSS Transform and transition. And then we'll also talk about Bootstrap. So to start with, I've just created a basic HTML page with just a main content section. I put the title audio. And I'll go ahead and snap my fingers and show us how we can use the audio tag. So we add audio with the audio tag, and this controls right here means that it will display some controls to play and pause and control the volume. And then inside of the audio tag, we add a source tag, and we usually have to provide more than one type of audio file. This is an MP3 audio file, which is kind of the most popular for music files. And this is OGG, it's just an open source file, and some browsers can play MP3s. And other browsers can play OGGs. So to make sure that we cover everything, we add both of these type of files. So if you're going to put audio on your web page, then you might need to convert an MP3 to an OGG. And there's tools online that you can search for doing that. And to practice this for yourself, I have included these files. If you're taking the course, I've included the files in Canvas so that you can download them and practice on your own. And this right here is a backup. Not all browsers support the audio tag. The audio tag is fairly new, an HTML5 tag. So if a browser doesn't support the audio tag, it will fall back and allow this link to show up so that you can download the file instead. So this is just for backup. And once we get that, then we have our audio right here with the controls, and we can play it. And it's the sound of a horse. So some other stuff that we can do is we can also do autoplay. And this way, when we first refresh the page, then it will automatically play. So if you want some music playing right when the page loads, then you can do the autoplay. Now I highly recommend not to do that, but there might be some circumstances where you might want to do that, but I highly recommend not doing that. Another thing that I don't recommend doing is doing a loop. And what this will do is it will just play the sound over and over and over again. And so let's hurry and stop that. And there we go. So you can loop it, but you probably don't want to do that. As you can tell, it could get pretty annoying. And you can also not have the controls show up, so that way when you refresh the page, you don't see the controls, but you will hear the sound. And that's how you can do the audio tag. And next I'll go ahead and we'll do a video tag, which is a lot like the audio tag. So I'll snap my fingers and do that. Now as you can see, you add the video tag, and it has the same attributes as the audio tag. It just says video instead. We also have the source of the two files, and we also have a link that will right here as a backup to download the video file right here. So we'll refresh that. And we'll also take off the autoplay so we don't hear the sound of the horse every time. So we'll refresh that, and now we have a video that we can play of a bear. Again, I've included the two video files right here in Canvas if you want to download them and include them on your page to practice. You can go ahead and download them. MP4 is the most popular kind of video. And OGG, again, is an open source video, and some browsers will support one and not the other. So when you include both of them in, it covers all browsers. Now another way to put video into your web page is embed video from another site. And for example, this is a Mormon message hosted on YouTube. And a lot of video hosting sites, no, YouTube isn't available in every country, but you might search to see if there's another video hosting site that you can find. And there's usually a share right here and an embed. And here's some HTML source code that you can copy and paste into your web page that'll allow you to put this video onto your web page. So the next thing we'll talk about is the CSS Transform and Transition properties. And to do that, I'm going to snap my fingers and put an image into my web page. And so I've added a figure right here with an image of a wave right here. And I also added a figure caption right here. And I've also linked in a style sheet called media.css so that I can style this up. And also notice I've given the figure an ID of wave-fig right there. So let's look at the CSS. And I just style up the image inside of the figure tag with a width. And then I style up the figure itself with a border, a width, and a box shadow. And this is what it looks like right here. And so let's go ahead and apply a CSS transform. And to do that, I'll snap my fingers. So the transform property right here is a fairly new property, but we can rotate pictures or any element. It doesn't have to be a picture. If you notice, I'm adding this onto the figure itself, so we can rotate a div or a paragraph or even a video. So when I refresh, you see that I rotated this 10 degrees this way. We can also rotate it the other way by adding a negative right here, and then it rotates the other way, so we can put degrees here. And so that's the transform property, and there are other things that you can do. We can scale this in the X direction if we want to, and maybe scale it to 50, which will be a really big picture in the X direction. And maybe let's do 2.5 right there, and so it makes it 2.5 times bigger, so that's scale in the X direction. Of course, we can scale it in the Y direction as well. And if you notice, it doesn't reserve space for the additional scaling, it just makes the element bigger. So that's the difference between setting a height and doing this scale right here. And we can also skew it, and there's some other properties that you can do with this, but the most popular one would be to rotate. And I'll just leave it as a rotate of 10 degrees right there. So go ahead and look online to see the other stuff that you can do. But since this is a new property, we do have to include the browser-specific tags for this. And as new properties get introduced, usually browsers will pick them up and add them in. And since it's not official CSS, they'll have their own way of doing it and their own CSS style tag. And then as the property gets more accepted, then it becomes official CSS, and then you don't have to do all the browser-specific extensions. But since this is a new one, we should add the browser-specific extensions, and I'll snap my fingers and do that. And so this is for WebKit browsers, which is Safari on the Apple computer and Chrome, as well as a WebKit browser. And this is for Firefox, the MOZ. And then the O stands for Opera, so the Opera browser, and the MS, which stands for Microsoft, which means it's Internet Explorer. So those are the browser-specific ways of doing it right there. And this is just to support older browsers, so if somebody hasn't updated their browser to the newest version, the transform property itself might not work, but then the browser-specific version will. Now, one thing with these browser-specific properties right here is they will not pass validation. So when you try to validate your CSS, once you put browser-specific extensions there, it won't pass anymore. So to check your CSS, just copy and paste your CSS to get validated, and then you can delete these lines out after you've copied and pasted into the validation. Delete them out from the validation and check to make sure it works. And if it's valid that way, then you can keep these lines in on your regular CSS. Another CSS property that we can do is the transition property. And to be able to do the transition property, I'm just going to add a navigation link into this page. I'll snap my fingers and do that. Okay, so I just added this link in right here. If you notice, it doesn't go anywhere, but I did give it a class of navlink so I could style it up using my CSS. And so I styled it up. I made it display inline block. So just to review, block means that it won't share a line with other elements and that it can have a height and a width. That means it should take up a full line on its own. But when we do inline block, what we say is we'll share a line with other people, but I still want to be able to set a height and a width. And then we'll also give it a border, thin, solid, and black. and then some padding right here. The top and bottom is just 8 pixels, and then the left and right padding is 30 pixels. And we have text decoration, none. This gets rid of the underline on the text, and then the color of the text will be white, and then I have a background color. And if you notice, when I hover over it, I'm going to change the background color to a different color. So now, well, when we look, we have this link here, and then when I hover over it, you can see that the color changes right here. So the color changes immediately. We can use the transition property to make the color slowly change or add a little effect so the color isn't so immediate. And I'll snap my fingers and do that. So using the transition property, I'm right here. And you'll need to read more about this in your online lecture notes or the reading that you find online. But basically, this is the property, the background color, is the property that is changing when we hover over it. So when you do a transition, we want to catch that change right here. So whenever the background color changes, we'll go for a 2-second and linear. So now, instead of the change happening really quick, immediately, the change will occur over 2 seconds. And it's going to do a linear change, so it will slowly change over 2 seconds. And to see that, though, since this is a new property, we need to add in the browser-specific transition. So that's right now, Mozilla or the Firefox browser that I'm using doesn't support this, but they have their own property right here. And so we'll just add in the browser-specific one right here, and then we'll refresh. And now if you watch, the color slowly changes over 2 seconds instead of being immediate. And that changes both ways, when it changes to the lighter color, and then when I hover off of it and it goes to the darker color. So that's a linear. We can also do an ease in right here. And an ease in will mean that it will start slow and then go faster. So let's refresh and watch that. So it starts slow and then goes faster. And then we can also do an ease out, which means that it will start fast and slow down. Right there. And so that's the transition property right there. And read more about the transition property online. Again, we should include all the browser-specific properties right here. So we'll need to include the WebKit and Opera and Microsoft as well. So I'll snap my fingers and do that. And so this again is for Safari and Chrome, for Firefox, for Opera, and for Internet Explorer. I want to end this video by showing you a tool that can help you develop web pages faster, and that is Bootstrap. And what Bootstrap is it's some CSS and JavaScript that allows you to do common things inside of a web page. And just to show you, right here, you can go to getbootstrap.com, and this is the version, the most current version number as of this recording, but things might change as Bootstrap develops more and more. Just to show you some of the things that you can do with Bootstrap right here, and there's a tutorial, and I won't go through this with you because you could just read through this tutorial and follow the instructions right here, and it tells you how to get it all set up right here. They even give you some sample HTML code and then some examples. So here's a basic starter template, and then right here's a basic marketing site, so Bootstrap can do all of this for you. And the good thing about Bootstrap is it is also responsive. So if you want your website to handle mobile devices or iPads, if you notice, it's responsive, and it allows you to get your links down here when we have a smaller sized window. And then as we increase our size, we get a bigger sized window right here. And so this is one template that you can have in Bootstrap. And you even have a carousel that you might be able to add in right here. And this is a carousel where the pictures can change like this. And so it's really easy to add lots of nice, cool effects to it. So go ahead and check out getbootstrap.com and see if you can work through some of the examples and get an example web page up. Don't forget to read all the documentation